Tonight on CTV News at 6. These tenants are fed up.
I mean, my knees are going, my ankles are going.
Residents of this Sudbury apartment building don't have a working elevator. She suffered in silence.
It was discouraging. Because you're thinking the pain, you have to live with this for the rest of your life.
We take you to Sudbury's hospital and the Bladder therapy program. And unraveling a mystery at the North Bay Legion.
Whether they were soldiers, they were nurses, they were people who dedicated their lives to serving our country.
Researchers say this nurse's service will not be forgotten.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks so much for spending some time with us on this Wednesday, August 6th. A fatal crash has closed southbound lanes of Highway 400 in Seguin Township, south of Parry Sound. Police are saying one person has died as a result of the two-vehicle collision. There was no word when the highway will reopen, but drivers are asked to turn off at exit 207 to get around the closure. A Quebec City man was arrested in North Bay after a break-in on Lakeshore Drive. Police responded to a break-and-enter call from two youths yesterday in the 500 block of Lakeshore Drive. Police say the accused knocked on the door. The youths didn't let the man in, but observed him behaving aggressively outside. The accused allegedly used a statue to force his way into the residence and chase the victims. Nearby witnesses contacted the police while the young people escaped. A 48-year-old has been charged with breaking and entering and 2 counts of assault with a weapon. A big drug bust was made in Garden River First Nation near Sault Ste. Marie. Last Friday, police conducted a traffic stop and during a search found more than $92,000 worth of drugs. They seized suspected cocaine and fentanyl along with cash and 2 cellular devices. A 29-year-old woman from Peterborough is facing charges. Sioux police say the initial investigation began in May as a result of drug trafficking in Peterborough and area. Tenants at an apartment building in Sudbury are fed up with how long it's taken to fix their broken elevator. CTV's Angela Gemmell has the details.
Linda Feta climbs the stairs back up to her 4th-floor apartment. She's had to do this for the past 8 months while the elevator at 185 Lorda Street has been under repair.
When I get home with my parcels, I just drop on the floor and I go lay down on my couch for a few minutes to get my energy back.
Feta and other tenants say the elevator broke down last November and they're still waiting for it to be fixed. Many of the residents are elderly or have either health or mobility issues, so climbing the stairs is exhausting. This resident must undergo dialysis 3 times a week.
I come down the stairs about 5:45 in the morning. I'm there at 4 hours before I come home. Then I got to go back up the freaking stairs. I mean, my knees are going, my ankles are going.
The tenants say they've asked the property management when the elevator will be fixed. They keep getting different answers.
We understand that can take some time. However, coming on 9 months, it's getting to the point where we're suffering now. Like, we're disabled, we're trying to do these stairs, and we're injuring ourselves on these stairs, and we're telling Luxor Property Management, and unfortunately, it's falling on deaf ears.
The building is owned by Centerville Nonprofit Housing, but run by Luxor Property Management. In an email to CTV News, the property manager says they're waiting for a part and that repairs should be completed next week, adding that just one company is licensed to work on this elevator. No one from the board of directors with the nonprofit was available for comment. The city says its bylaw services is aware of the situation and is working with the owner and management to have the issue resolved. The Ontario Residential Tenancy Act does not give a specific time frame for when landlords must complete repairs. It only says they must handle them within a reasonable amount of time. If a tenant feels their requests are being ignored, they can file a complaint with the Landlord and Tenant Board. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
A traffic stop aimed at arresting a man wanted by another police service led to charges for explosives. West Parry Sound OPP say they stopped a vehicle at 1 in the morning to arrest the driver, but their investigation revealed the passenger was in possession of pipe bomb making materials. A 33-year-old Scarborough man is facing several charges, including possessing explosives for an unlawful purpose. OPP in the Sioux area are continuing their investigation into a fatal collision that happened July 20th in Goulet River. Around 4 in the afternoon, police responded to a two-vehicle collision on Highway 17 near Old Highway 17 Road. A 72-year-old driver was transported to Sioux Area Hospital with serious injuries and later died of those injuries. And an update tonight on a crash in Gravenhurst we told you about last night. 2 men have died from their injuries. Muskoka Road 169 between Parkers Point Road and Narrows Road was closed for more than 6 hours last night. According to provincial police, 2 sedans were involved. The 50-year-old driver of one vehicle died in hospital from his injuries. The driver of the second vehicle was airlifted to an area hospital before being sent to a Toronto hospital with life-altering injuries. His 61-year-old passenger was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are looking for information and dash cam footage as they continue to investigate. A 52-year-old man from South River has been charged after a fire truck crash last week. Provincial police say on July 28th, they responded to a collision involving a fire truck in Laurier Township. The individual has been charged with careless driving and operating a commercial motor vehicle without an air brake endorsement. No one was hurt. And we have some breaking news for you. The individual wanted in connection with the death of 3 people and an arson in Bracebridge is dead. Police say 29-year-old Mitchell Gray was one of the bodies in the house fire and was the wanted party. The cause of his death is said to be smoke inhalation. According to the autopsies, the 2 victims were killed by gunshot wounds. We'll have more on this story as details become available. North Bay Transit got a major boost today. More than $20 million in federal, provincial and municipal funding will be used to replace 8 conventional buses with new hybrid ones. Along with the new buses, the city will be upgrading the transit terminal and fare collection system. The goal is to make North Bay's transit system cleaner and more modern. The funding will also be used for sidewalk improvements and stormwater system upgrades. Not a bad day out there weather-wise, but it seems the humidity is on the rise. To tell us more about the conditions, here's CTV's Rick Wyman.
Oh, we've got some humidity coming into the northeast for tomorrow. Actually, an increase in humidex readings right across the northeast. Risk of a thunderstorm and chance of showers right across the board. As you can see, our systems map really beginning to approach the northeast. Tony, you can see some precipitation moving in. We'll take a look at some current temperatures. And you thought last night was great. Most of our temperatures with the humidex reading this evening into the 30s, maybe with the exception of Cochrane. So we'll take a look at those temperatures and more, all coming up. Tony?
The Anishinaabe Police Service is being recognized for its newly published website. The site was launched July 15th and has already earned 2 .com Platinum Awards. It won in the policing and website design categories, and the police service was one of only 3 Canadian sites to take home this international honor. Municipal politics still to come on CTV News at 6. Our Mayor's Chair segment is next, but right now, let's head to downtown Timmins. This is a live webcam shot. It's 27 Celsius. We are back after these commercial messages.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Time now for a look at the Mayor's Chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're facing. Joining us tonight in the Mayor's Chair is Mayor Dan Cleroux from Coleman Township. Mayor Cleroux, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
One of the big topics I wanted to start with you on, and I know it's something Coleman has been very passionate about, is highway safety. Premier Ford, I was going to ask you something completely unrelated, but we now know Premier Ford was quoted to the press pool as saying last week that he wouldn't mind seeing all of Highway 11 and all of Highway 17 as a divided highway and to put more lanes into those highways. I want to get your reaction to that.
Well, I think it's a good idea. To any safety improvement on our highway is a good thing. We've had lots of accidents, lots of deaths, unfortunately, and doing something is better than doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, do you think the province has been doing enough so far? I mean, what's the reaction, or what are people in Coleman telling you?
No, well, they want to see improvement. They want to see control of the more control of the large transports coming through, making sure that they're safe operators, make sure they're well trained, make sure the equipment is safe, and all the good things that go with good highway safety.
Is that divided line, the divided highway, the answer here? I mean, or is a highway strategy needed? I mean, what do you think they have to do?
Well, I think in the long term, they should really have a project that is going to have a separate highway lanes. To go right through, say, up to Timmins or up to Kirk Lake, where all the traffic is. And I know there's been numerous studies, but we haven't been privy to those studies. It'd be interesting to see what is actually in those areas of discussion.
Yeah, one of the other big topics I wanted to talk to you about, I know you've been talking to my colleague Eric about this as well, is I know the people of Coleman have seen their fair share of wildfires and elevated fire risks these past few years. I know this year we're seeing a lot of rain, but I'm wondering, Coleman, you're a smaller rural community. Are we doing enough on the wildfire front, or what would you like to see done?
Well, the fellows are pretty good. Girls and gals that are fighting the fire, they're pretty good at what they do, and some of the things that we really can't control. We've had the spruce budworm that came in and devastated a lot of trees. Now these trees are all dead, and once we get a very heated summer, we know we're going to have a fire. And but so there's such amount of trees, a large amount of trees. How do you really solve that? I'm not sure.
Absolutely. Well, we're down to less than a minute, but I want to ask you, I mean, we're going into the tail end of the summer. What's on the docket for Coleman and Council? Are you looking to do more building? Is it infrastructure? What can people expect? Well,
we've grown substantially in our township. Our population has increased. The building rates, building of houses and homes and so on, has dramatically increased. We've changed our official plan to adapt to these new challenges that we face, and that's what's on our plate for the next few years.
It's great to hear people are finally seeing and moving to Coleman too. I know it's a beautiful country you have up there. Mayor Coleman, thank you so much as always. It's a pleasure.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you. Anytime.
That's Mayor Dan Claroux from Coleman Township.
Thanks for that, Ian. A long-standing mystery around a painting at the North Bay Legion has finally been solved. CTV's Eric Tashner has details.
It's absolutely remarkable.
This portrait of a young woman in uniform of the Queen Alexandra's Imperial Military Nursing Service has puzzled historians and locals for decades. But now the painting has been identified. It's of First World War nurse Christina Clinton Gordon.
Whether they're soldiers, they were nurses, they were people who dedicated their lives to serving our country.
The painting was on display at the Royal Canadian Legion office for years before going into storage, where it was later rediscovered in the early 2000s during cleaning.
We never really knew where it came from or how it got to our Legion, but we hung it there.
At the time, there was only one clue, a handwritten note on the back reading Toronto, Canada, May 1917, with no name or signature. After it was restored in Ottawa, an inquiry to the Canadian War Museum yielded no results.
And then Carol Purdy, the curator here at the time in 2008, recognized the uniform as being the same as in our collection, and then started to bring out pictures and started to compare the pictures to the picture of the nurse, and they look quite similar.
Photos show Gordon served overseas in England and France, treating injured soldiers on the battlefield from 1916 to 1919. After the war, she moved to Callander and later married Reeve Ken Morrison.
It's giving a voice and a name and a face to somebody who dedicated part of their life to serving our country overseas, and to be able to give it a home.
The Legion chose to donate the painting to the museum, where it will be displayed alongside Gordon's uniform and wartime photos, helping to tell the story of the local woman's contribution to the war effort.
It's only natural it should return home.
Ensuring that her service won't be forgotten. Eric Tashner, CTV News. Calendar.
The Sault Ste. Marie Police Service announced its new police chief today. Former Deputy Chief Brent Duguay was announced late this afternoon as the city's new top cop. Duguay comes with more than 30 years of policing experience. He says it's an incredible honor to serve as Chief of Police in the community where he was born and raised. Back now for a check on the current conditions. Here's Rick.
Well, Tony, I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago about the possibility of at least some thunderstorm activity, some showers, and some warmer temperatures. Let's have a look. Our forecast radar right now. Here comes the rain and, of course, a threat of thunderstorms right across the northeast for tomorrow. Now you want some humidex readings right across the north. Let's have a look. Our evening temperatures warmer than last night, 31 in Moosonee, Cochrane 29, Timmins 31, and Kapuskasing 32. Meanwhile, in Chapleau at 31, Wawa 31, and Sault Ste. Marie, some haze once again at 33. Down Highway 69 in Parry Sound, 34 degrees this evening. Meanwhile, in North Bay, 31, Timiskaming Shores 30, and Kirkland Lake 31. Here we go in Greater Sudbury, 31, 32 degrees, partly cloudy. Mainly cloudy in Espanola, 32. Elliott Lake, some sun and cloud at 30. And Manitoulin Island at 32. So once again, Tony, a warmer than usual evening compared to last night. It's always a great night for ice cream, you know that. So of course, enjoy the evening. Tomorrow we've got the risk of rain and thunderstorm activity and higher humidex readings. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much for that, Rick. Smooth flight or a bumpy ride? Next on CTV News at 6. Flight attendants with Air Canada vote in favor of strike action. And Premier Doug Ford is forging ahead with a tunnel under Highway 401. There's turbulence ahead for travelers if Air Canada can't strike a new deal with its flight attendants in 10 days. CTV's Judy Trin takes a closer look at the issues that had 99% of flight attendants vote for strike action.
Mike Abraham has booked a flight to Slovenia for a bike tour. He's scheduled to take off just as Air Canada's flight attendants are poised to strike.
Even if I was to actually try to rebook it now with either with Air Canada or with a competitor, say a European airline, the price would be at least 3 times as much.
Air Canada's 10-year contract with its 10,000 flight attendants is expiring. The union representing the workers says better wages and working conditions are needed. Flight attendants average 35 hours of unpaid work each month.
We're not paid anytime the aircraft is not in motion. So any of the pre-flight checks, mandatory safety briefings, all the required stuff that is done on the ground prior to pushback, as well as the deplaning process.
The workers are getting support from the Conservatives, urging the government to amend the labor code to ensure flight attendants are paid for every minute they're required to be at work from check-in to sign-off. Last year, Air Canada generated operating revenues of more than $22 billion. Thousands of passengers could be impacted if a deal is not reached by August 16th.
This will be a test for the Carney government to see whether they have the intestinal fortitude to let labor relations work its way through this process.
Even though Abraham has been planning his trip for months, he doesn't support government intervention, but does support fair wages for workers.
Being paid for your hours on the job, that I think is a no-brainer. I can't possibly understand why a company wouldn't do that.
In a previous statement, Air Canada said it was committed to reaching a fair and equitable contract with its flight attendants. Both sides returned to the bargaining table on Friday. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says his government is not backing down on his plan to build a parallel tunnel under Canada's busiest highway. Ford says it will be the largest tunnel in the world and it will be safe.
We're going to make it 19.5 meters. No one's ever done that. We're going to have one lane going east, one lane going west, and the bottom part's going to be transit. So that's what we're doing, and people will be thankful years to come.
The Ontario Premier says the government will work with experts to ensure the project is safe. He announced plans to build a 50-kilometer tunnel to help clear traffic gridlock on the busy highway. The plan could cost more than $100 billion. And Premier Ford expressing his concern today after a meeting with the Prime Minister and other premiers. CTV's Mike LeCouture has the latest on the ongoing trade talks.
Prime Minister Carney, which counter-tariffs? The Prime Minister was tight-lipped a day after saying he'd consider removing some counter-tariffs on American goods if it would help Canadian industries. While saying he supports Mark Carney, Ontario Premier Doug Ford has a different take.
You can't have tariffs on one side and not the other. I still stand by what I say, dollar for dollar, tariff for tariff. They understand strength, not weakness.
He was planning to deliver that message this afternoon as the premiers held a virtual meeting with the Prime Minister. Once it ended, Ford's message to Canadians is to buckle up for a rough road ahead.
I'm praying that everything's going to go fine. But if it doesn't, I'm going to ask the people, do you trust President Trump? I don't.
In recent days, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe has called for Canada to remove or reduce counter-tariffs on all American goods. Some feel like the countrywide resolve is being tested.
As this has dragged on with no obvious resolution in sight, some of that determination is flagging a bit.
In an interview with CTV News on Tuesday, the U.S. ambassador to Canada cautioned that trade talks could be slow over the next weeks as U.S. President Donald Trump focuses on a deal with China. And that's why some trade experts believe Canada should refrain from retaliating.
I do think we have to hold something like a retaliation as a threat in case Trump does decide to hit us with something else.
And one example of that unpredictability, President Trump announced an additional 25% tariffs on goods from India because that country is importing Russian oil. India's tariff rate could rise to 50%. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
In the U.S., 5 soldiers were wounded when an Army sergeant opened fire at an Army base in Georgia today.
We have identified the alleged shooter as Sergeant Cornelius Radford, an automated logistics sergeant assigned to 2nd Brigade Combat Team. Sergeant Radford has not previously deployed to combat. Sergeant Radford has been interviewed by the Army Criminal Investigation Division and is currently in pretrial confinement, awaiting a charging decision by the Office of the Special Trial Counsel.
The base was locked down for about an hour. The soldiers were treated and then moved to hospital. Law enforcement was dispatched to a combat team complex at Fort Stewart shortly before 11 a.m. The gunman was arrested about a half hour later. The base is home to thousands of soldiers and family members. The Army is investigating. Today marks the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, and the city held a minute of silence. A memorial was held in the Japanese city commemorating those who died when the United States dropped a nuclear bomb in 1945. 3 days later, in the nearby city of Nagasaki, a second atomic bomb was dropped. The bombs killed more than 200,000 people in the blast and related radiation sickness. And we'll have more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Tony, we're already starting to look at the weekend. I mean, after all, a lot of people were off on Monday, and the forecast not as nice as it was heading into last weekend. Let's check out our forecast radar right now. We've got some precipitation moving in. Risk of a thunderstorm, some shower activity for tomorrow, continuing through into Friday with the remnants. And again, the chance of showers, as you are about to see over the course of the next couple of days. So not as nice as it was, as I said, last week. Here we go, right across the board, northeastern Ontario, chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm in some sections as well, 30% chance there. And again, clear skies in Moosonee, and why not at 17, chance of showers in Camphurst, Wawa, and Gore Bay, clear in Perry Sound, 16 overnight. Now, Let's do some homework here and check out the Sudbury Nickel Belt temperatures for the next couple of days. Humidex of 33. Have a close look at what's happening Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, all with a chance of showers according to Environment Canada. Temperatures will show a variation of 26, 29, 28, 27, and cooling down by Tuesday at 24. How about the Sioux and Algoma? Again, Humidex of 33, chance of showers Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And again, those temperatures will vary from 26 to 29 to 25, cooling down to 24 by next Tuesday. But again, that's next week. Timmins, Cochrane Campus Casing, Humidex of 31 for tomorrow. Chance of showers on Friday, then a bit of a break. Sun and clouds Saturday with 29 degrees, 29 again on Sunday, chance of showers. Monday, Tuesday, chance of showers. And again, you're slightly above normal on Monday, below normal on Tuesday, because at this time of the year, you should be getting 24, 25 degrees. You've got 27 and dropping down to 22. Here we go now with Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Humidex of 33 for tomorrow. Friday, chance of showers. More of the same on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And pretty well the same story right across the Northeast with a change in temperature. We go from 28 to 27 to 29, back up to 28. Or back down to 28, and then the cool down Tuesday at 24 for a couple of days. So we'll get a bit of a break from that heat early next week. Now North Bay, West Nipissing, Humidex of 32, chance of showers Friday. More of the same Saturday and Sunday, 29-degree days. Of course, warmer with the Humidex. It'll be sticky. Monday, Tuesday, of course, chance of showers. You go from 27 to 25. Back up to 26 by Wednesday. So again, variation in conditions, a chance of showers for several days and warmer temperatures before the cool down on Tuesday. Now, let's have a look at the pick of the day. You know the song, Snakes Crawl at Night, Charlie Pride, classic song. This is a daytime snake. Rick Burton from Chisholm Township dropped by the Martin River Trading Post and got a glimpse of this little guy. I believe, I'm not sure, male, female, we wouldn't want to suggest otherwise, but great shot there, Rick. Thank you so much. Stick around. Tony has more news after the break.
If you collect Aeroplan miles, you'll want to check the terms of your membership. Changes to the plan will affect how you earn points through the loyalty program. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Starting on January 1st, Aeroplan will overhaul the way its members earn points, and the biggest change means you'll earn based on how much you spend instead of how far you go. Phil McCulley is a frequent flyer and has been an Aeroplan member for the past 20 years. He's concerned business travelers buying more expensive tickets will see the greatest benefits.
But it absolutely benefits people who travel on the max fare class. So people who fly business everywhere are disproportionately benefiting from this program than people who travel, let's say, like a lower fare class.
The majority of our members are going to be better off than they were before.
Air Canada says the changes to the loyalty program will benefit those who engage with the airline and its partners the most. Starting in the new year, you'll earn one Aeroplan point per dollar spent. In two examples on Air Canada's website, it states if you book a flight between Toronto and Montreal with a base fare of $427, you'll earn 427 Aeroplan points. In another example, if you booked a round trip from Montreal to Paris and the base fare is $1,500, under the current plan you would receive almost 7,000 points, but under the new plan you'll receive 1,500 Aeroplan points. The more you pay, the more points you'll get.
It can't be seen as a positive, but it can't be seen as negative either. It really comes down to the individual, whether these changes are good for you or not.
Rewards Canada, a website that studies loyalty programs, says those who pay more for expensive flights will achieve elite status faster and rack up more points than those who are searching for bargains.
The more you spend with the airline, the more you're going to be rewarded, whether it's elite status or with points earning as well.
The changes are also more in line with other airlines that have also moved to revenue-based models. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Health Sciences North in Sudbury is offering a groundbreaking bladder therapy program, the only one of its kind in Northern Ontario and much of the country. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
For the last 5 years, Jeanette Braban has faced debilitating bladder symptoms, including UTIs, leaks, and excruciating pain. After a third round of Botox treatment proved ineffective, Braban felt she had run out of options.
It was discouraging. You're thinking the pain, you have to live with this for the rest of your life.
But then all of that changed. In February, Health Sciences North began offering the test phase of peripheral nerve evaluation, otherwise called PNE. It's a small battery-powered device that's implanted for a trial period to stimulate the nerves controlling bladder and bowel functions.
People who are affected by bladder dysfunction and bowel dysfunction suffer in silence. This affects their entire life. They can't have a good night's sleep. They cannot go to work without being worried about having an accident outside of the washroom. It affects their personal relationships. So it affects every aspect of a normal living life. So the need for it's there.
Braban has qualified for the permanent implant, a procedure only available in Toronto. Sadat says because only 6 centers across Canada offer the treatment, more research is needed to ensure equal access.
Traditionally, majority of support, majority of policies, funds, grants, donations are steered towards cancer treatment and cancer research. And cancer deserves every single dollar. However, we need to look beyond survival. We need to care about quality of life. Having a good night's sleep or not being worried at work about an accident is not luxury. It's healthcare.
While Braban awaits that phone call, she says she wants to share her story to let others know they are not alone.
For a woman, bladder leakage it's embarrassing. But you know what? You're not alone. There is so many of us that have this issue, and there is help out there.
Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, a new deal has been reached between the province and Ontario's doctors. CTV's Pauline Chan has more.
We've been working on the deal for more than a year with the government to really ensure that every Ontarian has a family doctor.
OMA CEO Kimberly Moran says agreement has been reached on some key issues, particularly the heavy administrative workload carried by comprehensive family care practitioners.
It's grown dramatically in the last number of years, and that it wasn't compensated for properly. And so to understand what clinical administration is, it could be, for example, that a family doctor needs to refer you for knee surgery. But they want to make sure that they want to refer you to a surgeon that specializes in the problem that you have.
Under the new agreement called FHO Plus, doctors would be able to bill for tasks such as doing patients' charts, time spent reviewing test results, and filling out various forms. But will more money for doctors mean more doctors for the 2 million Ontario residents currently without primary care? Moran says of the 15,000 Ontario physicians trained in family medicine, only 9,000 currently work full-time in their specialty. The rest work in areas like emergency medicine.
The government is working on a number of initiatives that will help retain and attract family doctors.
Today, Health Minister Sylvia Jones refused to reveal any more details about the deal with the OMA.
What I will tell you is that we have seen some very positive movement in terms of working with the OMA and other partners to make sure that as we expand our primary care opportunities, the physicians are well respected and get appropriate compensation for that.
There's just a couple of remaining items that the arbitration board is going to decide on, and we're expecting to hear back from them in the fall.
Moran hopes the new deal will encourage more student doctors to choose family practice as their specialty. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Things are really blooming in a greater Sudbury community. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Judges with communities in bloom are in Capreol as the town showcases its civic pride. Communities in Bloom judges were in the greater Sudbury community of Capreol today, is taking part in the program designed to foster civic pride and environmental responsibility. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
The judges toured the riverfront in downtown Capreol, a private garden in a subdivision, and also the Capreol Needlework Club to see quilts and other handmade pieces. The judges say the competition is about much more than blooming flowers.
We'll be checking the urban forest, the environmental actions that are being taken, historic preservation, and that's in two components really. It's natural history and the cultural history of the area, and landscape, which is an important aspect of any community.
It really is about growing your community, blooming your community. So it's a great metaphor for that community pride and spirit that grows as we all contribute to our communities through volunteerism, beautification, environmental action, and heritage conservation.
Another stop was to plant an oak tree at the Capriol splash pad to replace one that had fallen. The mayor says the city of Greater Sudbury partners with many community organizations and volunteers to help beautify Capriol and make it a welcoming, healthy community.
So I'm just thrilled to be able to support and to showcase to the judges the amazing folks that we have in this area that are coming together to create a beautiful community.
But one thing we really like that we get is almost like a third-party audit from the judges. So we get a full detailed report at the end of the showcase, and that allows the museum and the town to chase funding for a number of different initiatives that we're looking to accomplish here.
Capriol is competing against the communities of Athabasca, Alberta, and Moosomin, Saskatchewan, in the under 5,000 population category. Winners will be announced in October. Elena Everson, CTV News, Capriol.
Burger Wars is coming to an end in Sudbury. Organizers with L'Arche partnered with Desjardins for final grilling before the closing ceremonies this Sunday. L'Arche Sudbury spoke about the importance of having local community support for its mission, but also the importance of supporting local for fundraisers like Burger Wars.
So important to have local businesses on side, and we really try as much as possible to support local businesses, and when they support us, it really feels as though we're doing some great community building and relationship building, and that pays great dividends. It's so nice to be greeted by a smile when we go into a business, and it's so nice for businesses to know a little bit about our mission as well.
And we'll have the final numbers and this year's winning burger for you next Tuesday right here on CTV News. The 55-plus Summer Games opening ceremony yesterday in Sudbury was packed with people from all over Ontario who were eager to start competing.
Each of you is a shining example of how we can help fight the negative stereotypes about getting old. We are not getting old.
This is the first time the Games will be held in the North. Organizers wanted to highlight Sudbury's multiculturalism with live performances from Yes Theatre and the Philippine Association of Sudbury. There is a wide variety of games and even new games you might not have heard of, like prediction walking.
We have more of just activity that people that want to be active, this is a great place to live. We have a lot to offer. The ski trails are certainly in the winter, but in the summer, all the walking trails, the bike trails that we have as well, all the lakes, the beaches that we have, so we have lots to offer. The fact that they come up here, maybe discover, maybe they were here 30 years ago, 35 years ago as kids, and they'll say, oh my God, the city has changed. That's what I'm hearing a lot. The city has changed, and we're changing for the better, and we're a growing city, and just delighted to be able to host all the province here for the next few days.
And today, CTV's Madison Merrier spoke with some of the competitors as the games got underway.
The 55-plus Summer Games have taken over Nickel City with over 800 competitors from all over Ontario ready to hit the field, court, or even table.
We want to win the gold, but if you don't win it, it's for fun and exercise, so win-win situation.
For many, these bi-weekly games aren't about competition, but the motivation to stay active, both physically and socially.
I do it for the sake of the camaraderie with my friends. I enjoy the competition, and as you get older, you have to remain active.
Oh, I would definitely ask them to come out to bowl. It's wonderful exercise. It's the social aspect of it that's the greatest part. You know, we do it for fun, and we love it. We love it.
Event organizers are echoing the same mantra that people of all ages are capable of playing active sports, and the gathering of people from all over Ontario proves that negative stigma is wrong.
I want people to realize and remember that just because we are getting older doesn't mean that we're not capable of still participating and having an active, fun life. That we're not, just like I said, just because we're 75, 85, whatever, we can still do things.
Well, I clearly missed, but don't miss out on your opportunity to watch the 55+ Summer Games here in Sudbury. There are a wide variety of sports happening at different locations throughout the city. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
And from provincial games to the national stage.
It would be really incredible to see her win the National Bank Open. I mean, now that she's in the semifinals.
From Canada, Victoria Mboko.
Canadian pride will take center court tonight when 18-year-old tennis sensation Victoria Mboko plays in the semifinal of the National Bank Open in Montreal. Fans are getting excited.
I think it's been amazing. It's amazing, and she's a really great player. I mean, she's made tremendous progress this year, and if she continues, I mean, I could see her winning some Grand Slams.
And to think Mboko entered the tournament as a wildcard entry and is just the third wildcard player to reach the tournament semifinals since fellow Canadian Bianca Andreescu did it in 2019. She went on to win the title. Lady Gaga is racking up the nominations while actor Brendan Fraser rents himself out. David Daniel has those stories and more in the Hollywood Report.
What do you say to people who say you only play yourself?
I think what you do is magic.
You know how difficult it is to be yourself? You try it.
World-famous actor George Clooney plays a world-famous actor in Jay Kelly. The first teaser trailer is out for the film, directed by Noah Baumbach and co-starring Adam Sandler and Laura Dern. Jay Kelly opens in select theaters November 14th and streams on Netflix December 5th.
Lost in the words that we speak.
Lady Gaga leads the nominees for the MTV Video Music Awards. She's up for 12 trophies, including Video of the Year, Song of the Year, and 2 other honors for Die With a Smile, her Grammy-winning duet with Bruno Mars. He's up for 11 trophies in all. The 2025 VMAs are September 7th in New York.
We play roles in the clients' lives. Parents, siblings, boyfriends, girlfriends, best friends, and help them connect to what's missing.
I'm just an actor. I don't know how to help people.
What I'm offering here is a chance to play roles with a real meaning.
Brendan Fraser is a struggling actor in Tokyo who lands an unusual gig in Rental Family. The roles he takes on and the bonds he forms make him ponder the difference, if any, between acting and connecting. Rental Family opens in theaters November 21st. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Claire's, the accessory and cosmetics retailer, has filed for bankruptcy protection in the U.S. and says it will do so soon in Canada. Claire's stores in North America will stay open during this process as the company says it will look for strategic alternatives. Claire's was founded in 1974 and has more than 2,700 stores in Europe and North America. And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $10.59, closing the day at $33.68.93 U.S. an ounce. Silver up 4 cents to end the day at $37.84. Copper up a little, and nickel moved forward 7 cents, ending the day at $6.75 U.S. a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Yay, nickel. That's good news, Tony. Risk of thunderstorms and shower activity right across the northeast for tomorrow. Check out the Humidex numbers as well. Greater Sudbury 27, higher with the Humidex, more of the same in Timmins and Sault Ste. Marie. We got 27, 27, and 27 daytime highs. Warmer with the Humidex. Meanwhile, in North Bay for tomorrow, 28, Parry Sound 29. Temiskaming Shores 28. So again, chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm. Tony?
Thanks, Rick. It's going to be a humid one tomorrow. Finally, a man on Vancouver Island is spreading magic by pushing the boundaries of the mundane. It all started when his security camera recorded something that made him look twice. CTV's Adam Sawatsky reports.
Before he ever imagined seeing something magical, Steve Macbeth installed security cameras to be purely practical.
Able to see who's been wandering around your place. This cat visits pretty much every night. And
whenever the camera's triggered, Steve immediately gets a notification on his phone saying if it's a human or an animal.
All sorts of critters are constantly moving past it.
But there have been a couple times when the camera captured people.
The person that walked through the front yard had actually done some break-ins that same evening.
So when he got a similar notification the other night, Steve feared the worst.
And it said that it saw a person.
And what was the person doing?
Well, it wasn't a person.
And it wasn't one of the usual animals either.
It was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
It appeared in the left corner of the screen, a bright white dot that suddenly turned and flew straight at the camera.
Well, it looked kind of humanoid.
It looked, Steve thought, supernatural.
Like it was a shimmering silver color.
A fairy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
While that magical moment was quickly replaced by a mundane explanation, it was still wonderful.
I just thought that other people would have a kick out of it as well.
So Steve took the time to post the fairy video on his local community page.
The very first one was a guy that said a rolled up newspaper would take care of that.
But after that, more than a couple people mentioned Tinkerbell. Hundreds expressed their gratitude, and tens of thousands watched the magic unfold.
Just stunned with the response to this.
But even better is seeing this video of one of his granddaughters, Isabel, watching the fairy footage for the first time in awe.
Always remember the time their goofy old granddad got himself on TV because of the fly that flew by his security camera.
Or they will never forget that time their couldn't-be-more wonderful granddad made the effort to make his world, if just for a moment, feel like magic.
Oh, just to look for things that are unusual in life. You never know where something like that is going to pop up and be a bit of fun.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
What a great story. And that's our show on CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.